Hey y'all, it's John, aka Whiskey and Sound, and I'm back with another episode of Boilermaker Mondays. Now, um, I'm going to be getting really adventurous this time around, and I'm trying something that's going to be, or I'm about to try something that is quite complex. I don't know what I'm to expect with this, so it's going to definitely go either way here. Now, this is an American beer. It is it's a barley wine slash imperial stout blend. So now I'm a big fan of my imperial stouts. Barley wine, I'm just starting to get used to here. So I figure I'd just cut to the chase and get into something that's pretty out there. And I've managed to find this on the shelves. Now, this is from Anchorage Brewing Company in the States. It's called Endless Ending. Now, the reason why it's probably called that is because there's so much complexity here. Because it is it's a blend of two beers that Anchorage make. And if my memory serves me correctly, it's a Dance with the Devil barley wine, and it's an imperial stout which I can't remember for the life of me. I think it's called Darkest Hour. Darkest Hour. Actually, yes, it is Darkest Hour Imperial Stout, which has been barrel aged in one of my favorite bourbons, which is Woodford Reserve Double Oak. Now it sat in that barrel for about 18 months, and then they've taken the barrel aged imperial stout and the barley wine, put it together into Missouri oak foeders, I think they're called, which are big. I think they're 600 litre. I'm pretty positive they're 600 litre vats, and sat in there for another 3 more months to sit, blend, do its thing, and then out come Endless Endings. So now, for those that aren't aware of what the go is with this, and she's no lightweight either. It is 50, no, 50. I wish it was 50, because it'd be the one and only drink I'm having tonight. It's 15.5% alcohol. So, yeah, not a lightweight. Not a lightweight in the slightest. So, actually, let's just see. I probably just don't have the patience for wax. So I might just cut straight to the chase here and let this thing do its thing. All right. Well, that was easy. Cool. Let's have a look at the colour on that. That is black as the ace of spades. You are not seeing through that at all. Oh my goodness. That is literally Darkest Hour, right? Cool. Just want some nose on that like. That's a whole lot of barley wine that I smell on that. That's for sure. And that's probably the overpowering thing about it. Now, my spider senses tell me, actually, yeah, my spider senses tell me to be prepared here. And whatever I'm thinking originally, go with your gut feeling instead. Now, the last time I tried a barley wine, I thought, yeah, let's try something, right out of left field, and we'll pair it back with something that I had in mind, which would try to match its complexity. Because the fact that it's been the imperial stout that is blended in this beer has been aged with Woodford Reserve Double Oaked. Part of me says, well, why don't I do what I would usually do, which actually I'm about to start doing a lot more after this episode, is going back to, well, I'll be doing a review actually of Boilermakers that are done with whiskies that have been, whiskies that have come out of barrels that have had the imperial stout aged in it on the finishing end, and also have the beer that was used in the barrel aging process as a Boilermaker package. I'm going to be reviewing quite a few of those very shortly, so I've got about 4 of them that I've got to do. So I'll probably end up doing like a 4-part series or something. Anyway, I'll have more details of that coming up in the YouTube channel. Probably during the week. I may do an announcement on my Instagram about it and my Facebook, so just keep an eye out on that. But either way, back to the story. I'll probably pair it back with this. But knowing what barley wine does, I have a secret weapon because I know this is going to require some taming. Man, there's a whole lot going on this nose from a beer point of view. It's yeah, barley wines. I'm really starting to notice that there's a lot more toffee and molasses that naturally comes with the nose, and there's also the combination here of like a dark chocolate or dark espresso, dark like dark fruits. Which is what you'd get from an imperial stout. And that just comes straight out. You know what? My moat is getting bigger now, so I've got to be prepared for that. That tastes like Vegemite. But that's actually... This tastes like how sweet I want Vegemite to taste. Is probably the best way to describe it. That is really... it is very chocolatey, very fruity, and surprising. A little bit of espresso, probably not as much as espresso as what I was thinking. And you know what? I've confirmed my suspicions. I am not going to pair you back with Woodford Reserve because I don't think that's going to do you any justice. So I'm going to cut to the chase, and learning from the last barley wine pairing, I really brought out the big guns this time around. Octomore 8.3 from Bruichladdich. For those of you that don't know what this is the beast as far as Isla whiskies is concerned. It is the world's most heaviest peated whiskey on the planet. Ever. Period. Full stop. Done. Now, this has had a bit of airtime. So, and I wish this was my bottle, but I've been loaned this bottle, so I need to behave with it, and I will. And but the fact that it's been a while since I've had this as well, but all I remember is that I had the finish on my palate for days. It is just intense as it gets as far as a peated whiskey is concerned. And it's not what you'd expect it to be. It's not smoky. Like it's not full, like it's not like Ardbeg kind of peat or Lefroy kind of peat. It's Bruichladdich Octomore kind of peat. It is just a different realm of peat altogether. And it's quite, like, it's got its own realm of layers that you've got to cut through. So what better way for me to try to pair back something with, like, I'm hoping that this not only tames it, but it does something magical within both of their complexities. Now, it could go, it could create something magic and right out of this world, or they could just cancel each other out. I'm going to be left with something bland and very disappointing. And it might be, but it also could end up going into the survival of the fittest and seeing which one overpowers the other. What would be nice is I get the sweetness from this that will either blend well with the finish on the peat, because I know the peat's going to just have that slow, gradual climb through the palate and just stay on the finish. And I had a teaser of that with the 8.4 the last time I paired that back with a barley wine. Now, it could also go the other way, and the fruits out of this come out, and this cancels the peat. Like, we don't know. We don't know what to expect. So we're 9 minutes in, or actually we're almost 10 minutes in. Let me pour myself a dram, and let's get this Boilermaker happening, shall we? I put in my real nice glass actually. Oh, you know what? I want to smell this thing. Okay. Right. Now let's reacquaint the palate again with the barley wine. Whilst this thing is actually, and I don't need to wait for this to open up. It's had a bit of airtime now, so I can essentially just get straight into it. So that'll be the cool thing. Right. Where's my tissue, because my Mo wants to also get in on the Boilermaker too. So there is a lot happening in that beer. Now, to bring you to speed, this bad boy actually cost me $110. So 375 ml beer, $110. Yeah, 15.5% alcohol. I get it. You know, stouts aren't like imported stouts with a higher ABV aren't cheap in general, but $110. So imagine asking the bar for a Boilermaker serving with that, and this. I think these, if you can find them now, are about $550 AU. So you're looking at $660 worth of Boilermaker here. Well, actually, technically not, because if you break that down to what a pour would cost you, you're still looking at a minimum of maybe 150 to 170, maybe a $200 Boilermaker. Either way, it is not a cheap exercise. So, man, I haven't smelt you in the longest of times. What are you? Yeah, so 309 parts per million. So that is, I think the rest of the peats in this, like the rest of the releases in this class, so the 8.1, the 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, or 0.1, 2, and 4, I think they were sitting around the 169 ppm mark, which is still damn high, and which is what the Octomores are known for. Now, and also, what are you? 61.2% alcohol. So it's a big package here versus 15.5%. Yeah, on the nose, this has got such a gorgeous nose on it. The fruits that I'm getting are like, yeah, there's peach on, definitely peach on there, but it's almost got like it's like a blend between cherry, maybe even mangoes or melons. Yeah, like there's tropical fruits happening with it too, but definitely peach. It's got peaches and cream here, mixed in with the mixed in amongst the peat, which obviously with the like the kind of water that you get, and like the malted barley mix you get, and I mean like that briny flavor that comes through, like you'll get seaweed out of this thing. Um, Once again, you don't get smoke on the nose. It's very deceiving. It's just like you get that cereal note, which you'll get from malted barley. So you get like that breakfast tune, but breakfast with heaps of fruits in there. But you get a lot of earthy notes in this as well. This just keeps unfolding, really keeps unfolding. Such a beautiful nose on this thing. And now to reacquaint myself with the palate on this. There's that peat. There's that smoke. Wow, that is... what a beast! What an absolute beast of a whiskey. Absolutely love it. All right. Wish you all the best now. Let's do a beer rinse and see what happens. See if there's anything left. You done exactly what I thought you were going to do. It's pulled the... It's... Man. You really are an animal. This has done exactly what I forecast it was going to do. And it's kept all the sweetness and the fruits from that at the front. And underneath, that layer of peat just eases its way through, or just comes up to the surface. So it's created the smoky, fruity experience, and it's just turned it into like a very pleasant Boilermaker. Like, this is just an epic pairing. It's the finish is still going. Like, my senses are like, what the hell is happening here? This is an amazing pairing. If you can get your hands, you can still get your hands on these. I know that much. I'm pretty sure this was it Purvis? Yes, I believe it was. Purvis Beer once again done the hookup on this. And I think Beer Barrel also still stock this, so you can still get your hands on plenty of this if you dare. Look, the price can vary between, I think you won't be paying anything under $90 at discounted, like if you've got any vouchers with any mob or whatever. But if the only thing that's going to do something like this justice is pairing it back with something like this, just to put it back in its place. Like, you need something stupidly heavy on, stupidly heavy on the peat levels, and something that's going to add a little bit of another complexity edge to it. And I think you'll get the most out of this Boilermaker pairing. Right, let's go. Now that my palate's calmed down a bit, actually, I might aid that, and I'll have a sip of this. Right, now let's go. No, there's still peat on the palate. I love that stuff. It's been so long since I've had that. It is such a joy. All right, let's go a beer wash first, and we'll do a whiskey rinse and then see what effect that has. That does not taste like a 15.5% alcohol. That's a scary thing. But having said that, you can't make a session out of these barley wines. That's what I find. Like, you can have one, enjoy it, call it a night. If you get yourself like a 24 pack of these and try to make a session out of it, you're going to be one crook as a dog drinker. I do not advise it in the slightest. All right, whiskey rinse. Oh, those fruits are magnificent. Yeah, heaps of peaches and cream, and actually it's more like a creme brulee. Yeah, very much a creme brulee. Stunning whiskey this is. That, you know what, a whiskey rinse just rinse the whole thing out. There's nothing of that. Absolutely nothing of that. So it pays you to do your whiskey first and then just sip down your beer afterwards. Then at least you've you've got the peat coming through underneath and just rising up to the surface through the barley wine and imperial stout flavour. So, part of the hiccup. That is pretty speechless. Pretty speechless on that one. That's a pretty amazing pairing. There's so much going on. I do not know where to start. So, but yeah, I think to nutshell it, because it's already been over 20 minutes, it's like my advice if you do happen to get your hands on these bad boys, enjoy that first and wash it down with this, or rinse it down with this afterwards, and you'll find a lovely mix between the two. They do complement each other, and it's sweet and fruity and smoky as well, all in one. But if you go the other way around, you'll just be drinking Octomore, and whatever was in front of it first is gone. Like, you're not going to enjoy anything else, because this tends to be your final dram for the night. It is that whiskey. Like, whatever you've been drinking beforehand, out comes the eraser. It's no lightweight. It is a very, very big whiskey, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. It is cask strength. It is the world's most heavily peated whiskey on the planet, and it's. I mean, it doesn't mean to say that it's the most smokiest, like peatiest tasting whiskey. It's very complex in its own right, and it just does black magic on the palate. So you respect it for what it is, and that's what I love about the Octomore. But I'm going to enjoy the rest of this over the course of the evening. I'm not rushing this at all. It's got the ABV in place that I need to respect and not rush it. I'm definitely going to enjoy this. So on that note, I'm going to enjoy this in my own time. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. And I will be, once again, in the following episodes, I'll make an announcement as to what pairings I will be doing, because there's going to be a series of pairings. The Single Malt Whiskey Club was able to hook us up. I'll give you a teaser, which will be over here. No, it'll be cask 5. So that is the probably going to end up being the first pairing that I'll end up doing, which is the Tasman Whiskey Bourbon Cask and the Porter, which was aged in those barrels, which the whiskey come out of. That's going to be one Boilermaker pairing that I'll be doing. And then from there'll be others that I'll be reviewing, which will be possibly Lark's Wolf Release pairing. I'm going to I'll end up doing my Boilermaker review on that. I'll end up doing a Boilermaker review on the Bakery Hill Blunderbuss, I think it is, which I didn't buy a bottle. I've been given a sample of the stuff to try, so I will be doing that. Alongside, actually, here we are. Yeah, the Blunderbuss. So that paired back with the Kadash or Kalash, I think it's called, which is the beer that come with it. And there was also another Boilermaker which I had in mind too, which could be it may be Corowa, it may be Chief Sons, but either way, there's a whole bunch of Aussie whiskies with Aussie stouts or porters, which I'll be doing a series of reviews. So they'll be coming up in the next few episodes. So hopefully you're staying tuned, and for those that have been staying tuned with all these episodes so far, thank you so much for your support. It's been really appreciated. And the feedback's been also wonderful as well. Like, I've been getting your messages and seeing some comments posted on the socials. Please keep all that up. I love it. And keep throwing the challenges at me. So, because after I do those reviews, there's a lot more different beers that I'm going to be pairing back with different whiskies altogether. So it should be fun. Like, the sky's the limit with what I can pair back with. It doesn't just revolve around me pairing things back with my stouts and porters that I'm used to. Like, there's other stuff out there. So guess what? I will be pairing them back with everything else. So yeah, continue to stay tuned and like, share, subscribe, support, do your thing, and I'll catch you next Monday for the next episode, Boilermaker Mondays.